Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. EQ Nostalgia here. As many of you know, Warlords of Draenor was probably the least popular World of Warcraft expansion of all time. The numbers on that game, just the amount of people that hemorrhaged out of that game, it's astronomical. And the lack of content, and it just had a lot of problems. Me personally, I like the questing in Warlords of Draenor, but I'm a casual World of Warcraft player. I'll come back for an expansion and play it for 2 or 3 months, and then I'm gone. And I usually don't come back unless there's a pretty big patch where they'll add some raids, and then I'll hop in for a little while, and then I'm gone faster than when I came back for the initial release of that expansion. So that's the kind of player I am. But there's a lot of players who would stay throughout, and that's just something that it didn't really happen with Warlords of Draenor. I mean, yes, each expansion has seen a loss, but this one has seen, I would consider near critical levels of loss for a game that had such a large subscription base. And we're all accustomed to hearing, this game's going to dethrone World of Warcraft, blah, blah, blah. I hear this stuff all the time. World of Warcraft's on the downfall. This is something that people have been talking about for, I think, about half as long as World of Warcraft has existed. But here's the thing, Garrisons really did, I think, a lot of damage to World of Warcraft because it was so antisocial that I think a lot of people got tired of it. And it's kind of like a running joke. It's become World of Q-craft. People just stand in their garrison, they'll log in, do their daily stuff, they'll run whatever daily bullshit they have to do, they'll do all their dungeons or whatever. And that's another thing, they didn't have a lot of dungeons in Warlords of Draenor. So that it's just it wasn't a popular expansion. So people would do this routine, and this antisocial behavior began, and more people just left because if you don't really have the content, that's one thing. But if you don't have the content, plus the players aren't interacting and they're not actually living in your world and running around in your world, that's problematic. And even for me, I'd say 2 months in, I started to just stand around in the garrison like, really, this is it. This is all you do is just queue for shit and do all the daily bullshit, gather up gold. And I mean, I think it's the fastest I got bored with an expansion. I do have to be honest. I absolutely loved the questing content in Warlords of Draenor. I really, really loved that aspect of it, and the raids were fun. Dungeons, not enough of them, and it's something that I didn't stick around for long, but it did help that I got a new rig, and this is the first time I've really been able to run World of Warcraft on the highest settings, and it looks really good. It looks really, for a game that's pushing 12 years old now, off the top of my head, right? Yeah, something like that. It's looking pretty good. Obviously, they've made some improvements. There's more dynamic shadows and lighting and all that, so it does look good. But here's the thing. How many people are going to go into Legion, and is it going to hold? Is it going to hold people's interest? I have heard that the class-specific halls that they're talking about for Legion are going to be pretty much exactly like what Garrisons were. Nobody liked Garrisons. After a while, it was just... At first, I think it was kind of cool, and then it wore off really fast, and now people completely loathe Garrisons. And then they did the shipyard with the update, and everybody's just like, this is the same shit. We don't like this. So now it looks like that's what they're doing with Legion. I haven't gotten into any testing. I don't know for a fact if that's the case that it is like Garrisons, but that's what I'm hearing from several different YouTubers. So that's not going to bode well. That's not a good decision. That's something that's going to push people away. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to pick up Legion. I'm going to play through the questing. I'm going to do all the raid stuff. I'll probably come back for significant patches. But if it's anything like Warlords of Draenor, I think World of Warcraft is in serious trouble. And the fact that they even bothered with Nostalrius, I think, says that they're in some trouble. They're not showing their sub numbers. So this isn't a surprise to anybody. I think they are in trouble. One thing that's also worth mentioning is the movie coming out this summer. There's going to be a 2-month gap between that and Legion. And I thought, and I think everybody thought, that they were going to release them side by side, kind of like what Star Wars Battlefront did with Episode 7. That was pretty smart. And people get back from the theater and they're pumped, and they like, I don't want to play some Battlefront now. Same thing with World of Warcraft. Well, now they're going to wait. They're going to wait 2 months. So that excitement level kind of dips, right? that's an issue. Is that an issue for people who are going to come back anyway, or people who are invested in this game? No, they're going to come back anyway. But if they're trying to get any new blood, or they're trying to pull more people in, maybe that aren't interested in the game, but after they see the movie, they're interested. That's something that's not going to work too well for them. And not only that, I seem to remember hearing something about annual expansions. Am I the only one who heard about this? Because that's not, when a game gets a little bit older, they start pushing out expansions faster because they want to bring people back more and more and make more money off of the sales of the expansion, and plus bringing people in, and that doesn't really seem to be happening here. It seems like quite a bit of a wait time just because there's such a lack of content in Warlords of Draenor. I think that really augments to the already existing problems. At the end of the day, World of Warcraft, it's an old game. It is. It's an old game. It's become the EverQuest. It's funny because it's become the game that it dethroned. It really is. It's just that old game that everybody remembered that was amazing, and it's still kind of hanging in there. So it's not quite EverQuest status yet. It's still on top. At least I think it is, unless there's a catastrophic drop off. But no, I don't know. I haven't logged in so long, guys. I don't know what it's even like to log in and run around. Even like the original areas like Ironforge, I imagine would be pretty barren since everybody's spread out across all the expansions, or just standing in their garrison. The world probably feels very empty. I think what something that Blizzard needs to do is they need to start allowing people to just quest all over the world. I never really liked the fact that you go from zone to zone. You do a bunch of quests in one zone, then you move on, then you move on, then you move on. That kind of thing is okay, but I think it should be a little bit more along the lines of just, I don't know, trying to get people to actually cross through your world and move around your world. Maybe bring people back to older expansion areas like the Burning Crusade and Wrath of the Lich King, stuff like that. But I don't know. Maybe people will just heckle them for rehashing content and not being original, but I think people need to get back into the world. It needs to feel like an adventure again. It needs to feel like you're out there and you're exploring. I know they try to do that with new areas, and that is fun for a while, but I don't know. There needs to be something, maybe a daily system that just gets people involved and has them just chasing some sort of boss that they can solo, something that feels badass that they can take down, but more interaction with the already pre-existing world, I think, is something that needs to happen. I could go on and on, guys, about what World of Warcraft needs to change. They need so many more social aspects. All of this stuff. There's a reason why Nostalrius was so popular. There was over 100,000 people on that server. That's massive. That's a lot of people for a private server, and that's pretty much why it got shut down, because it just got too big. But that interest level, that shows you that people want that challenge. They really want that challenge back from the older days, and they want that more social environment. And you're just not getting that anymore. I don't know why Blizzard doesn't understand that it's better to just funnel your community together in ways where they're going to interact and they have to rely on each other, and that's what makes an MMO special. And Blizzard kind of lost that, and that's why so many people are mad at them, and that's why so many people left to either quit or go to private servers, and it's just unfortunate. And if they're not going to make legacy servers and they just continue down the road they're on, World of Warcraft isn't going to be around that much longer, not in the capacity that it was previously. It's not going to be the same. I've been hearing people say that they've increased the subscription fee in other areas of the world, and that's usually a bad sign. I remember when EverQuest Online Adventures went from $10 a month to $15, and then World of Warcraft was out, I believe, at around the same time. When they did that, that's when you start to get into trouble. We have a lot of people moving to Black Desert and more action-oriented games, and that's something that is definitely going to be hurting them. So yeah, I mean, where did all these players go? At one point, there were so many. I think that 12 million was the peak on World of Warcraft, 10 or 12 million people. So where did they all go? They went to other MMOs, or some of them even went to League of Legends. A lot of people would say that the MOBA genre has kind of replaced MMORPGs, and I have to say, I think that it kind of has, because with World of Warcraft, when you play these MOBAs, they kind of feel like the battlegrounds that you remember from back in the day in World of Warcraft. Some of them Really, really do. And that has a lot to do with the fact that Dota was like a spin-off of Warcraft 3. And so it all comes full circle, and you really get that feeling when you're playing those games. It's just more of a concentrated version of it. Like, you don't go out and have to level up. You just play, you get to whatever level in the match, and then everything wipes. So, I mean, obviously, you guys know what a MOBA is. I don't know why I'm explaining it. But it does feel a lot like that. Orcs Must Die. They even have Orcs Must Die Unchained. I've been playing that a lot. You're probably looking at it on your screen right now. There is a character that feels like an arcane mage, almost to a T. So these are things that I think are pulling the audience away from World of Warcraft. When you have all this downtime, when people don't really enjoy the content that was there to begin with, and there's really nothing there, a lot of people that go die hard in that game, I mean, they just go crazy, and they chew through all the content in a matter of weeks. And that's it. And then they're just like, okay, now what do? I guess I stand around in my garrison and chat. Or no, I'll go play something else. Now, they're talking about completely revamping the PvP system. I don't know what the hell they're going to do to it. I personally did not like PvP after the Burning Crusade. After that point, I started to feel like the CC got out of control. I've said this several times on the channel. It's like they said, hey, what can we do about all these complaints about fears and saps and stuns and all that shit? Oh, I know. We'll just give everybody one, so then everybody's got one, so they can't really complain about being stunned anymore because they can do it too. No, that's not how you fucking work that problem out. Oh my god, I got so incredibly frustrated playing my Death Knight, constantly locked down. And some people are like, well, yeah, that's kind of how it is. No. I can't, no. It's like just rogues everywhere. That's kind of what it feels like to me coming from the Burning Crusade, because that's when I joined it. When I wasn't around for the whole Terran Mill days that people remember, open PvP, but yeah, I started with the Battlegrounds and I loved them. But here's the thing, I only had to worry about stuns from a couple of different characters really messing with me, where I would lose control of my character. That kind of shit where it infuriates me, and I know it does a lot of people. Loss of control of your character in any game, if it's too long, if it's just for a second, it's like, ugh. But when you're standing there just for 10 seconds, you just want to fucking whip your mouse across the fucking room. But yeah, I'm sorry, I gotta calm myself down here, guys. It's just stirring up some bad memories. It's really upsetting. I used to love playing my mage. I used to love playing my rogue, and mostly because my rogue was the one that was doing the stunning. I didn't really have to worry about it as much. But when Wrath of the Lich King came out, I was pretty much absent for the whole thing. What I had done is I went back because I didn't really have a lot of time with the Burning Crusade. I probably got in towards the end of its life cycle, so I joined a private server. I think it was called Toxic WoW or some shit like that. I joined it, and it was forced open PvP everywhere. There was no, you couldn't help but play open PvP. That's the only server they had. So I did that with a rogue and had so much fun. I did the same thing with a mage and had so much fun. They had something like 2 times XP, so you could level up faster to get I got my characters back to where they were in the retail version, and I think that's where I probably had the most amount of fun, because I got to go through and do all of the raids and experience everything that I had missed out on before, which it kind of, everybody moved away from it. Once the community moves on, unless you're in a guild that wants to go back, forget it. That's one of the things that's unfortunate about World of Warcraft. It's difficult for a new player coming in to experience any of that content. But towards the end of my latest stint with World of Warcraft in Warlords of Draenor, I started running dungeons, old dungeons, just to get skins for my weapons, shit that I wanted to transmogrify. Yeah, that's the word escaped me for some reason. I wanted to get some transmog gear, and I ran a lot of the shit from Cataclysm. Cataclysm, I think, is where I stopped, because it started to get a little difficult. But I did all of that shit and everything before that. Everything. Because I missed so much of it. And after doing that a few times and standing around the garrison, I was like, okay, I'm going to unsub now, because I feel like I'm just wasting my money. I'm not playing the game as much as I should, and it's just wasting away. It's one of the things that I don't like about subscription-based games. If you're not playing them, you feel guilty about it. If you want to play another game that maybe just came out, like Fallout 4 or some shit like that, you feel guilty because you're thinking, oh shit, $15 on this game, and I haven't played it in a week. I can't stand that. It feels like a ball and chain just attached to your ankle. I like buy-to-play models, so that's another thing that kind of pushes me away from World of Warcraft, and I think that's another one of the reasons why we're seeing people dropping off, because it's not really a popular model anymore. And yes, gold is so easy to get now that everybody can just buy their, well, at least it was when I left Warlords of Draenor. I don't know how it is now, but people can just pretty much buy their subscription with gold. So that's not really an issue, but it's still monotonous to collect that. If you've got like 10 garrisons and you're logging into them every day, it starts to feel like a fucking job. What's the point, you know? But holy crap, I've been talking for 15 minutes. If you guys are still here, I thank you for hanging in there. I want to hear from you right now. What do you think about the future of World of Warcraft? Are you hyped at all for Legion? Do you hope that this is a good expansion? Do you hope that the game just finally dies off and makes room for something else to be king? Let me know. If you guys like this video, please remember to rate it thumbs up. I thank you all for watching, and I look forward to seeing you all in my next video.